Alright, welcome. So today we have CHRONOS. He has been requested to do an updated build video for Season 3. Now, with CHRONOS, he is super flexible and there's plenty of builds and different items you can go with CHRONOS. And with that being said, I'm not going to be able to cover everything because I want to get this video done in timely fashion and kind of get to the main points. So if I don't cover a build here that really works for you, feel free to show and kind of show us your build in the comment section below. So I do want to cover his abilities and why would you build a certain way for CHRONOS, starting with his passive. Now his passive, there's a lot to it, but basically you can stop on any of these sections using your 2. And then with the first section, you can recover a certain percentage of your max health, meaning if you build into like a Warlock Sash, you can really benefit and you can get a lot of healing back with your section 1, or you can go into a Winged Blade, which is pretty common for CHRONOS, and you can get some health that way. And those are your 2 main health items for CHRONOS. You could go Ethereal if you really wanted to, however, Ethereal Staff is not the best item to go into for the long term, just the short term. And then again, the last 2 sections, we have a percentage increase in magical power, and then the other one is magical power contributed to your basic attacks. So regardless, it's a magical power increase by a certain percentage. With that being said, percentage, if you go into a high magical power build for CHRONOS, that means you're going to get even a bigger burst of magical power increase once you go ahead and stop on section 3 or section 4. And that is pretty much it. There are like some questions about what about Haste of Mentalis on CHRONOS. Haste of Mentalis on CHRONOS is not necessary at all because your Accelerate, your 2, gives you the Haste of Mentalis effect for free. And another cool point I want to show out is your 2 lasts for 7 seconds. Well, without cooldown reductions, your cooldown is 7 seconds. As soon as you pop your 2, the ability goes immediately on cooldown. So with that being said, there's only 10 seconds in which you don't have your 2 on you. So just keep that in mind. And if you do go into cooldown reduction, maybe like if you go like a full cooldown reduction, you could probably have your 2 up like almost all the time. And that's pretty much it. So let's get right into it, talking about starting for Conquest. Now, starting for Conquest, there's 2 different starts. You can go to the Vamp Shroud, looking for that plus 100 health, which is super strong early on. And the passive allows you to kind of better sustain yourself on top of your passive that's giving you, your health back, and your abilities don't cost mana from section 2, things like that. Or if you were looking to snowball and be a really just like a bully and just kind of pressure your lane, you could go for the high risk, high reward with the Soul Stone combined with the Purple Pot, which gives you 50 magical power. And the Soul Stone, after collecting 5 souls, your next ability has plus 60 magic power. So you can do something like that. However, you do die with your magical potion, you are behind 450 gold. But however, just go with the Vamp Shroud. From here, you can go to the recommended tab and you kind of see the starter. So as a Vamp Shroud, you can have you have enough gold, and you can go into the Lost Artifact. Now, this Lost Artifact, again, it gives you magic power and MP5 mana per 5 seconds. However, this does build into all 3 good items for CHRONOS. You can build this directly right into the Doom Orb right away, looking to get your stacks online ASAP, and then this will allow you to kind of snowball your way to victory, because at max stacks, it's an additional 100 magical power on top of the already 40. So you can go into this. If you don't want to play high risk, high reward, you can build this right to the CHRONOS Pennant. But again, so you can go from Lost Artifact into your boots and then go back and finish Doom Orb, or you can finish Doom Orb first and then go to your boots of your choosing. You can do something like that. So let's move on. After you get your couple items sorted here, you can go into a stack an item if you really want to. You can go to the Book of Thoth, looking to have a lot of mana, and of course have an insane amount of magical power once you get towards the mid to late game. Or if you want to have that health and really benefit from your healing on your 2, you can go to the Warlock Sash at this time. However, if you don't want to go into any stack items, you can go into an item called Winged Blade. This is pretty common. As you see, it's super cheap. So in the case of you are behind in gold, you can pretty easily afford this because it doesn't cost much at all. This gives you 300 health, which you can make use of, and all the other stats you can make really great use of: attack speed, movement speed, crowd control reduction, the passive. Everything's super good about Winged Blade. So you can go into that if you don't want to build it into the stack and items. So you can go into any of those items. Let's just go into Book of Thoth for now. Again, you can also go into Winged Blade or Warlocks. It's totally up to you. However, regardless of what item you get in this item side, as long as it's not penetration, you definitely want to get your penetration sometime. So here comes another question. Obsidian Shard allows you to do more burst damage. You don't have to worry about building stacks on your target, and this allows you to do really good objective damage. Or if you want to play more like a hunter and you're really good at landing your auto attacks and being super aggressive, then definitely you can go into the Demonic Grip looking for the magical power, the attack speed to complement your 2, and the passive kind of works like Obsidian Shard. However, you just had to build it over time with 4 stacks. Now sometimes you can see players picking up both Obsidian and Demonic Grip, ensuring that they have the maximum amount of protection shred on their targets, and ensuring in case you don't land your auto attacks, your abilities are still going to do good damage because they're affected by Obsidian Shard. So that's totally up to you. For now, let's just go into the Obsidian Shard. Again, you can go with Demonic Grip, that's totally up to you. And then by now, I would definitely kind of go into the Rod of Tahuti because the game could be ending soon, and you have plenty of magical power from previous items to really benefit from the Rod of Tahuti, the passive. So after you go into your Rod of Tahuti, you can go ahead and sell your starter item to finish the Book of Thoth, or use it to finish these other items, or whenever you don't need it. And you can go back and buy that Demonic Grip that you wanted to buy earlier, or in case you went Demonic Grip first, you can go back and buy the Obsidian Shard. If you really want cooldown reductions for the late game, because there's a lot of team fights, you can also go to Chronos Pendant if you really want to. If you didn't get your health before, but you want to have some health now, you can go back and buy the Ethereal Staff. You could Warlocks, but it'd be way too late to get the stacks. And in the short term, if you're looking for health, Ethereal is the better bet. If you're looking for maximum burst damage, definitely Soul Reaver. This thing hits so hard, and it has 300 mana, which complements your Book of Thoth really well because it's all based on mana. So that's pretty much it. You can go to, like, let's say Soul Reavers kind of play this out. You can go, I would recommend selling your Doom Orb once you're full build late game, and go ahead and buy the Spear of Desolation. This ensures you only lose 20 magical power, and you also gain the 20 extra magical penetration, and the passive is pretty neat as well. So you can go with something like this for a high magical power build. Let's go ahead and use my my 2, and you can see I have 877 magical power with my 2 activated, and it drops back down again. So you can do something like that. Now let's go ahead and cover something like let's say maybe like Arena, because Arena is a little bit different for Chronos quite a bit, because obviously you don't really want to go to Doom Orb. So let's go ahead and play out the Arena. I'll probably go into Shoes of Magi. For Arena case, I honestly would personally go into Chronos right after your boots, because you're constantly fighting. There's no laning phase. So you're always fighting, so I'd recommend going to Chronos Pendant. That'd be something I would do. I wouldn't go into Doom Orb because you're more than likely going to die quite a lot in Arena. If you really want to, you could go into Stacking Items. I would say go into Stacking Items within the first 3 item slots. So let's say you can go into maybe like a Book of Thoth if you really want to. The stacks don't matter too much, and then I can go into, like, a couple pin items. If you don't want to go to Stacking, you can go into the double pin, and then you can end it with the good old Rod Tahuti. And then it's kind of hard to finish your build in Arena, honestly, unless if you're really ahead. So you can go into like a last item like Soul Reaver, or last item, whatever you really want to. So those are some different items. There's a couple of flavor items I would say with Chronos that you can have fun with and kind of experiment in how you like them. For one is the Telekine's Ring. It's been buffed in Season 3. So 30% extra attack speed is super good on Chronos because he obviously uses his auto attacks quite often. And if you pair this up with your Demonic Grip, you have a lot of attack speed. As well as the passive is really strong for the early to mid game. Comes late game, you probably want to sell this for later on. The passive doesn't scale too well into late game. And the last flavor item I would say is Polynomicon. Obviously, you can use your 3 or your 1, and then your next auto attack is going to hit so hard. It's really nasty. And with Polynomicon, it makes him such a good objective pusher because you have True Pin, or almost True Pin, with your Obsidian Shard, and then you have the Polynomicon, which also affects Tower. So it's really strong. So that's pretty much it. I don't want to make the video too long because it's already long enough. And I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully it was helpful. Again, please let me know your build in the comment section below. So peace.